Welcome to the weekly market wrap-up. I'm Hannah Bernard. Fear moves markets, and a heightened concern over the growing Ebola crisis is now directly impacting stocks. Ebola may be shattering the resilience of the bull market, as chaos and confusion around the crisis in the U.S. is affecting investor confidence and possibly triggering a bear market. How are the markets reacting? Let's find out. Ebola jitters contributed to a wild day on Wall Street on Wednesday. At one point, the Dow was down 460 points before rebounding some. Thursday saw little change as the Dow dropped 24 points to close at 16,117. The turmoil affected the S&P 500 as well, dropping 15 points Wednesday and closing pretty much even Thursday at 1,862. And the Nasdaq wasn't spared from the pain as it surrendered 11.85 points on Wednesday and only managed a modest uptick of 2 points to close Thursday at 4,217. Now let's turn to Canadian markets, which saw a healthy improvement on Thursday. The Toronto Stock Exchange ended higher as energy stocks took a bounce after losing 166 points or 1.2% on Wednesday. The TSX rebounded to gain back 183 points Thursday or 1.32% to close at 14,052. The TSX Venture Exchange broke its downward trend Thursday, posting a significant gain of 13.57 points or 1.75% in overall value to close at 791. This wave of selling over the past month has nearly wiped out market gains for the year and has left all three major indices flirting with the first real 10% correction in years. As we mentioned, the uncertainty around Ebola is playing a role. How? Well, the crisis in the U.S. is leading many investors to begin to question the strength of future consumer spending. Make no mistake, while geopolitical tensions in the Ukraine and the Middle East have tweaked the markets, Ebola represents a real threat at home, therefore greatly magnifying its effect on sentiment. With news this week of a second case of home-contracted Ebola in the shock of learning that the patient was allowed to fly to Atlanta then back to Dallas while presenting symptoms, many airline and car rental stocks have started taking hits. The fear amongst investors is that consumers will pull back from spending, which will be a big hit to Fortune 500 companies. Let's hope the CDC can get the handle on the situation. With all the bad news emanating from the markets, there is some good news to report. Global oil prices have all but collapsed over the past month, falling faster than at any time since the financial crisis in 2008. That's impacting everything from manufacturing to the auto industry. Oil prices, after sitting at a fairly consistent range of $90 to $110 a barrel since the financial crisis, have plummeted in the last several weeks, with the price of Brent crude hitting $42 a barrel on Thursday. There are several reasons behind the fall. First, there's more supply. Libya's oil production has been coming back online, and the U.S. has been producing and consuming more of its own domestic oil. Also, there is less demand because of weakening economies in China and Germany. Another factor is Saudi Arabia. Normally, when prices begin to dive, the oil giants cut production in order to stabilize prices. This time, they are not doing that. Many believe it's an effort to pressure Russia, which receives half of its revenue from oil and natural gas exports. Now to winners and losers in our picks for the week. The winner for this week is Domino's Pizza, ticker symbol DPZ. Shares in the pizza delivery chain shot up 11.33% on Tuesday, gaining $8.58 per share. The company reported third quarter earnings that delivered a whopping 24% increase to 63 cents a share, beating expectations by 2 cents. Strong domestic and international same-store sales helped the company post its biggest profit growth in 6 quarters. Domino's has nearly 10,000 company-owned and franchise stores across the world. The loser for this week is Lakeland Industries, ticker symbol LAKE. Shares of the hazmat suit manufacturer plunged 26% on Tuesday, or $7.57 to close at $21.43. The fall began in morning trading after the World Health Organization said the number of Ebola cases in the hardest hit areas is declining, contrary to the concern we have been covering here at home. Lakeland manufactures and sells a line of safety garments and accessories for the industrial protective clothing markets and to medical facilities and organizations such as the CDC. The company dropped another 12% on Thursday. Well, those are our winners and losers for this week, and now it's time to check in on the gains that you could have locked in by following the weekly watch list from Robert James and Viral Stocks. That's enough about this week. Now let's turn to BayStreet.ca's look at the week ahead and the snapshot of what analysts are forecasting for companies whose earnings reports are coming out next week. Here are 3 U.S. stocks to watch next week. First up on Monday is Halliburton Co. with an EPS forecast of $1.11 compared to 83 cents in the prior year quarter. Next up on Wednesday is AT&T with an EPS forecast of 64 cents compared to 66 cents in the prior year quarter. AT&T confirmed that this week it will add the Nexus 6 by Motorola to its industry-leading device portfolio. Pricing and availability will be announced at a later date. Finally, on Friday is Ford Motor Co. with an EPS forecast of 20 cents compared to 45 cents in the prior year quarter. Here are 3 Canadian stocks to watch next week. First up on Tuesday is Canadian National Railway with an EPS forecast of $1.05 compared to 86 cents in the prior year quarter. This week, CN officially opened its new employee training center in Chicago. Also up on Tuesday is Canadian Pacific Railway Limited with an EPS forecast of $2.38 compared to $1.88 in the prior year quarter. And finally on Friday is Encana Corporation with an EPS forecast of 57 cents compared to 20 cents in the prior year quarter. And that wraps it up, folks. Thanks again so much for joining us for another weekly market wrap-up. Before you head out for the weekend, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel or podcast on iTunes and find us on Facebook and on Twitter. For Viral Network News and BayStreet.ca, I'm Hannah Bernard. Thanks for watching.